for you?
No, it's called preparing the.
Preparing this.
Yeah.
What's preparing this?
I mean, when I walk in, I definitely take pride in being the originator of the preparation of the.
Through the garden area, and employees led us to underground tunnels. We had to take an elevator and stairs. We had to be led. There is no way that you can just walk into a tunnel.
So according to CNN, the feds just found so disturbing new footage from Diddy's freak-offs, and it's so bad that he's looking at a life sentence in prison. Now we've been hearing stories about these freak-offs ever since Cassie's lawsuit hit the fan, but after this, calling them freak-offs doesn't even feel right anymore. Based on what's in this new footage, those weren't just wild parties. They were straight-up nightmares where Diddy allegedly forced his victims into some sick and twisted situations. On top of that, we're now hearing some new reports about what the feds found at Diddy's properties during those raids back in March. Stuff like rooms filled with creepy supplies like gallons of baby oil and IV fluids to a whole collection of tapes showing some type of rituals. And now Hollywood is in full-on panic mode because these tapes allegedly have some big names on them. We're talking Jay-Z, Beyonce, Ellen, Oprah, Clive Davis, and even some high-ranking government people.
We'll say is at one particular party, lots of big names. There was an artist there who said, "Hey, Lecrae, around 1 a.m., make sure you're not here. You just don't want to be here at 1 o'clock."
Freak-off supplies. So apparently the feds had been quietly watching Diddy for a while, and when they finally raided his homes, the stuff they found there was so much worse than anyone expected. And besides those 1,000 bottles of baby oil, word on the street is that the feds found rooms upon rooms of some weird adult toys, creepy costumes, masks, and things that seem like they came straight from a horror film. Think Eyes Wide Shut vibes, but taken to an extreme. But the real horror is that sources say the feds found specially designed rooms, each one with hidden cameras from multiple angles. And some of these rooms were allegedly soundproof. Now, why would you need multiple soundproof rooms unless something disturbing and illegal was happening inside? And if you think that's bad, it gets even darker, and it looks like this is turning into another Epstein case. So the feds reportedly found thousands of freak-off tapes of Diddy and his powerful industry friends doing unthinkable things, and it's way worse than you can imagine. Sick tapes exposed.
Is selling his own evidence that would put him in jail against him on the dark net.
Each other around, but we don't get it. Usher, how you been, man? I've been seeing so long.
New party footage of Diddy, Snoop Dogg, and Jay-Z has surfaced, and it's sending shockwaves through the industry. With all three icons in attendance, fans are left questioning the true nature of their relationships and what went down at the event. Could this footage uncover deeper connections to recent controversies surrounding Diddy? And how will it impact the legacies of Snoop Dogg and Jay-Z? Stick around as we talk about how the new party footage of Diddy, Snoop Dogg, and Jay-Z changes everything. Leaked private tape Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's past interview about a stolen personal tape has resurfaced amidst the growing controversy surrounding Diddy. Not long ago, Diddy was one of the most famous rappers in the world, but his life took a sharp turn when he was recently arrested by federal authorities on serious charges, including trafficking and racketeering. As Diddy faces multiple lawsuits and investigations, shocking details about his wild parties are emerging, leaving fans in Hollywood stunned. Now, in the middle of this chaos, fans have dug up an old interview featuring Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. In the 2000 clip from MTV's Total Request Live, Dr. Dre reveals that a private video he made with Snoop was stolen from his home. Dre explained, "It was a video we made just for ourselves. Snoop was in it. Someone took it from my house, and it's definitely not something meant for the public." Luckily for them, this tape hasn't surfaced online. However, with Diddy's scandal taking over headlines, many fans are now curious about what secrets this old video might hold.
The original song, we promoted two other drinks that made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars off of us, just saying.
Where he was spotted with celebrities like Will Smith, Owen Wilson, and Bruce Willis. In one picture, Diddy is seen enjoying the party while a woman, unclothed and covered in food, lies on a table. In another photo, Diddy is eating a chocolate-covered strawberry from her stomach. Recently, a male worker came forward with a tape showing Diddy at one of these infamous parties, adding even more fuel to the fire. Recently, Diddy shared behind-the-scenes footage from his birthday party, which featured appearances by Jay-Z and Snoop Dogg. Fans are curious. What were these hip-hop legends doing at the event? Were they there to support their longtime friend, or or is there more to their presence than meets the eye?
Will you stand at a liquor company that's paying you all this money, 15 million or whatever it was,
Right.
that they're going after you and you make racial claims against them? Well, those big type of corporations,
Diageo.
Diageo, they come after you.
Right.
They come after you. If you're going to go into a court of law and think you're going to win a fight without them deframing you or making you look like the worst person in the world, so that was the first thing that came to my mind. Just thinking that these people are so powerful and they're so politically motivated, where they actually own senators who actually get on the phone and call up presidents and tell presidents to appoint certain people and certain department heads. It's just real easy for them to get on the phone call and say, "Hey, look here, man, put pressure on that brother there." And I think that's what he got caught in.
Good. So basically, what you're saying is you ain't even attaching any guilt or innocence to him. What you're basically saying is he made the wrong damn enemies, and now they came for him.
He made the wrong enemies. I mean, he went essentially did what our parents always say: never bite the hand that feeds you. And so now he's in a world of trouble. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's think about it, Steve. We all have been to a bachelor party.
Right.
That was a bachelor party. I mean, you go to jail for a bachelor party. If you're gonna,
To me, it doesn't sound like this guy thinks that Diddy did anything wrong. Doesn't. To me, it doesn't seem like
California was going to take up
doesn't see a
that
problem with it.
as a kidnapping. That is where the problem comes in at. But everything else, baby all, bachelor party, freak offs, whatever you want to name it. I mean, guys are setting up freak offs right now because they get ready to get married all over the world. So, and they're transporting girls in from different places who are going to be about that life. That's just the fact of it all.
What about the notion that, number one, let's take the video. Cassie Ventura is her name. That's his ex now. We saw on video what he did to her. What they're trying to say is that ain't the only person he's done it to. You're talking about violence against women, physical violence, etc. You're talking about, they're basically calling Bad Boy Entertainment, implying anyway, it's a damn prostitution ring. That you got people coming up in there, whatever. Now, last time I checked in certain states, hell, we don't even know if prostitution is illegal. But what is illegal is drugging them without them knowing, etc., etc.
That's
the similar
right.
stuff that they said about Bill Cosby.
Thank you,
similar
Stephen
stuff
A.
they said about Jeffrey Epstein. The similar stuff that they said about Harvey Weinstein. What about the notion of comparing
Thank
that
you for
in
joining
some
us.
small
Please
way,
like
if not
and
more,
subscribe.
to all of those names I just threw out there, Uncle Luke?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a Me Too movement. When you have a movement in the world and people are moving certain type of ways, and all the people that you named off, all of these historic people who got taken down, that is the new thing. Hey, look, automatically they attach you to child pornography, underage individuals coming into parties and things like that. But in this case, I don't think I remember them saying anything about young underage kids. This whole thing of trafficking, bringing people, sex workers.
Right.
Those are the girls at the strip club. Taking them across county line or state line, that's illegal. I mean, I'm having a little problem with that one there because, again, people are doing that every day. Guys are going to Tulum, guys are going to Mexico, Cozumel, and going all over the world right now to celebrate their bachelor party, and they're taking the so-called now new name sex workers across county lines, statewide, and they're taking them over.
Bound and raped her in 2001 and filmed the incident. Graves is represented by famed litigator Gloria Allred, who is no stranger to representing women in high-profile cases, okay? Here's a list. Speaking of Gloria Allred here, okay? Here's a list of just some of the women she's represented in the past. Look at this list right here. O.J. Simpson trial. Remember that Scott Peterson trial, Tiger Woods scandal, Bill Cosby scandal, Anthony Weiner, former representative out of New York. Remember that? All of that stuff happened. That's who she's
Thank you for watching our video. Please like and subscribe.
Scott Peterson, who was convicted of killing his wife and unborn son, and most notably, she represented more than half of the 50-plus women who've accused Bill Cosby of rape and molestation. As for Sean P. Diddy Combs, he's pleaded not guilty to charges that he led a criminal enterprise that abused women. Look, I've already been in the mindset that the brother's in trouble. Deep, deep trouble, as in never seeing the light of day as a free man again. It's really, really that serious. I don't think it's an exaggeration. That's number one. Number two, everybody's sitting up there talking about Gloria Allred right now involved in the incident because there's money to be made. Okay? And the reality is that if you've got a situation where you've got tape, you've got audio, etc., against this man, it's something that could come back to haunt you. We can't ignore that reality, all right? Then you've got to take into account the fact that him being in a federal prison, him being in jail right now, being held without bond, wasn't allowed bail, even though he's got one more appeal available to him, the chances of him pulling that off are slim to none. Okay, now you've got Hollywood up in arms and incredibly nervous. Why? Because everybody's wondering whether or not their name is going to get mentioned. And for that, my condolences kick in. And here's the reason why. You could have gone to a Diddy party, but there's a Diddy party, and there was a Diddy after party. And the after party is where these quote-unquote freak-offs were taking place. What if you never went to them? What if you just went to the party? And then you left at a reasonable hour like most people do. And you went home and went about your business and did your own thing. But while you were at the party, you took a picture. While you were at the party, you were drinking, you were hanging out, you were socializing, fraternizing, having a good time. Based on how so many people are acting, you never know what level of incrimination could come associated with you. And here's where it gets interesting. We're talking about Hollywood. So the image is what it's all about, not just the reality. If the image is of you taking pictures and partying and having a good time, and you got a drink in your hand and a cigar in your mouth, or whatever the case may be, but you did absolutely nothing wrong. Optics matter in Hollywood more so than most places. So I can understand why so many people are nervous. They ain't necessarily nervous because they're guilty. They're nervous because of the association and what it potentially implies and how it can be used to compromise their earning potential. That's the world that exists in Hollywood. And that's what makes this so unfortunate. Having said that, nothing, absolutely nothing pertaining to those folks in terms of optics comes anywhere near close to the kind of danger Diddy is in.
Glad to be here with you, Stephen. I go way back, man. I'm a South Jersey kid. I'm from Cherry Hill. I remember reading you in the Inquirer way back, so it's great to be with you.
Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Let's get right to it. Talia Graves is the 11th accuser. Count that, 11th accuser, but the first to come public against P. Diddy. How damaging is this case? Is this for his case, actually?
This is bad news for Sean Combs. Any way you look at this, Stephen. Look, I'm going to let you in on a little prosecutor's secret. We all read the media, and there's two reasons for that. One of them is prosecutors are vain. We want to know what's being said about us, if we're getting good press or bad press. But the other reason is we want to see what's going on out there. You get leads, you get evidence for your cases, trafficking cases like this, Stephen, and it is not at all uncommon in the days and weeks after you unveil an indictment like this, you will find more people will come forward. They're trying to bolster their case, and this could help them there.
I was going to ask the question, what kind of impact does former girlfriend Cassie Ventura's lawsuit have on the federal case? But based on what you just articulated, I'm imagining that contributes to the prosecutor's case against Sean P. Diddy Combs, correct?
Oh, for sure. It's pretty clear if you look at the indictment of Sean Combs that the Cassie Ventura allegations are front and center. It looks like at least one of the counts is based entirely on her allegations that she made in the lawsuit. We've all seen the video of Sean Combs viciously attacking her in that hotel hallway. She is going to be a key victim. A real important question, though, is are there other victims, and if so, how many are there? Now, Sean Combs' defense lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, appeared on CNN last week with Caitlin Collins. I was on right after, and Agnifilo, Sean Combs' lawyer, said, well, the government, the prosecutors say they have 50 victims and witnesses, but I think that's one victim, Cassidy, and 49 witnesses. Now, I said on air to Caitlin, I think that's wrong. You wouldn't say that as a prosecutor. You wouldn't say you have 50 if it was 1 in 49. But it is crucial that prosecutors identify more victims. And if these new allegations can lead them to a second or third or fourth victim, then that's what prosecutors are in the
Shell. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry, the wall of silence has now been broken. Victims are coming forward. We now represent 120 individuals against Sean Diddy Combs.
Wow,
as well as
120.
claims
That's
against
a
many
lot.
other individuals and entities. The names that we're going to name are names that will shock you.
We understand that a lot of Hollywood celebrities are shaking in their boots because they know they are going to be named, not by the feds, by the civil lawyer, Busby. And remember this, the prosecutors are held to a certain ethical duty as prosecutors. The civil arena is a whole nother animal. There is nothing to stop Busby from naming celebs, taking names, and naming them out loud. So we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. This, as we learned, that Diddy's party cocktail, that's certainly putting perfume on the pig. Some people call it the cocktail. Their words, not mine. Includes cocaine and horse trank. Listen.
Several of the individuals, and when I say several, I mean many, who did in fact seek medical treatment, were drug tested, and drugs were found in their system, weird drugs that you probably never heard of. One in particular that continues to pop up is a drug called xylazine, or trank, which, based on our research, is known as a horse tranquilizer.
Horse tranquilizer. If it knocks out a horse, what does it do to a lady? Say average weight 105 to 125. What does that do to a human being? You heard Tony Busby, the civil lawyer who is getting thousands and thousands of calls on a Diddy hotline, refer to xylazine, known as trank. It's a veterinary tranquilizer. It's found in illicit drugs. And this is what we've learned from speaking to experts. It slows breathing, heart rate, and blood pressure to dangerously low levels. It's very hard to reverse. Overdose reversal meds like Narcan do not reverse the effects of xylazine. In other words, for instance, Prince, when he OD'd on an opiate, possibly fentanyl, Narcan, if he had it, would have saved his life. If you OD on xylazine, there is not a drug reversal antidote. Joining me an all-star panel to make sense of what we know tonight. But first, straight out to Alex West joining us, investigative and entertainment reporter with The Mirror. Alex, thank you for being with us. Horse trank and cocaine at a party, and yes, reportedly didn't know that they were being drugged with that.
Turning them into full-blown discussions. Whether you believe in these theories or not, they've certainly captured a lot of attention and sparked debates across social media. While Jay-Z hasn't been formally accused of any wrongdoing in relation to the serious charges Diddy is currently facing, his name has been brought up in conversations, especially on social media. Moreover, photos of Jay-Z, Aaliyah, and Diddy started circulating again online after Diddy's arrest. DJ Akademiks shared these images, including one of Jay-Z holding hands with Aaliyah. This photo, in particular, has sparked a lot of speculation among social media users. One person on X responded to the post with suspicion, saying, "Don't tell me they were passing her around. This picture shows they were all involved together." Another person added, "I'm waiting until the trial. I want to see the actual accusations and evidence against Diddy. But my gut is telling me Jay is involved somehow." Aaliyah's former partner, Dame Dash, also appears in many of these old photos. He has already denied any inappropriate behavior with Aaliyah.
That's some work. You go make it, and then you bring it back. You can go buy your own work, you do whatever you want.
And has even questioned Jay-Z's silence about the whole situation. In a recent interview, Dame voiced his concerns. With all that's being said, I wonder why Jay isn't speaking up about this. As much as he's hurt me financially, I'd hope that's the worst of it. I wouldn't want to hear that he's involved in anything inappropriate. For now, Diddy has pleaded not guilty to the charges and plans to defend himself in court. Jay-Z, meanwhile, has not been implicated or accused of any wrongdoing related to Diddy's case. Moreover, Suge Knight dropped bombshells about Diddy, claiming he isn't the only one involved in the recent scandal. Knight mentioned music moguls as possible influences. But what's their connection to Diddy's case? Could this expose even deeper secrets in the industry? Let's delve into it. Jailhouse interview. Suge Knight, the former head of Death Row Records, shared his thoughts following the arrest of Diddy. Back in the 1990s, Diddy's Bad Boy Records and Suge Knight's Death Row Records were involved in one of hip-hop's most intense rivalries. This tension was reflected in music, with tracks like the notorious B.I.G.'s Who Shot Ya and Tupac Shakur's fierce response, Hit 'Em Up. Sadly, this rivalry was followed by tragedy as Tupac lost his life in a drive-by shooting in 1996. And 6 months later, Biggie Smalls met a similar fate in Los Angeles. Biggie's case remains unsolved to this day.
And it's a funny thing, I kind of realized how powerful.
Though a trial for Dwayne Kef D. Davis, a suspect in Tupac's passing, is set to begin soon. Now, nearly 30 years later, Diddy, one of the most famous names in music and business, is facing a major legal battle. He has been charged with racketeering conspiracy and inappropriate trafficking. In his interview with News Nation, Suge Knight said he doesn't take joy in seeing another black man, especially someone with a family, go to prison. He emphasized that what happens to Diddy will affect not only him, but also his kids. At the same time, Knight
well, it looks like
the
Diddy's in a lot of trouble. Thanks for taking your time to watch our video. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.